Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's event where we'll be doing website reviews. We have two websites lined up today that we're going to take a look at and see what they're doing, see what they might be doing right, see where they might be able to make corrections and updates to make their website perform even better online. The most important thing is that's what we're dedicated to. That's what these events are for, to see what people are working on and what ways they can make improvements so they can not only serve themselves better as a business, but also their audience, their clientele, and make sure that they're performing well online. So sit back, relax. We're going to get started momentarily. We're going to be looking at two websites. If you have time today and you want to have your website reviewed, you can leave it in the comment section. You can also fill out in the description, there is a form. You can fill out that form there directly, and in that form, it's a first come, first served basis, so you'll have your website reviewed in the future one. So I'm going to get started momentarily. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Again, if you want to have your website reviewed in the future, please leave it in the comment section or in the description. Fill out the form. All right, let's jump over to our first website for today. All right, so our first website is Fame Media. It's a professional corporate headshots that are not just polished but powerful. Okay, let's see what we got going on in this area. Okay, decisions, where were you located? Is there any information about where they are? We have Atlanta here finally, but it took a long time to discover where that was. I would have done that right here at the top, professional and corporate headshots in Atlanta or located in Atlanta. That way people know right away, because coming here, if I was just kind of floating here on the website, I might be like, whoa, where are they located at? You can make assumptions. I would have thought maybe Texas, maybe. And then getting down here, we see Atlanta. So you would just make it a little bit easier for a clientele to understand where you're located at. It's just going to make it easier at the end of the day. When it comes to design elements, I really like this section here, but let's walk through the homepage a little bit. So we're starting right off with a huge scale of about 12 images. I would probably scale it back to just 2 rows, if any, or a single row. You don't need to hit them right away with a full-on gallery. That's what the full gallery is for. At most, on a homepage, you only want about 10 images anyway. Any more than that, it gets a little exhausting. And then we hit them again with another dose of 12. So 24 images right away out of the gate. Feels like really heavy. I really like this section. I would love to bring that up. I think that would be nice right in here. Just to kind of, have like a big, beautiful image, or maybe these first 4 professional corporate headshots in Atlanta. Then this little subline, and then boom, right into some information about where you're located, what you do, the who, what, when, and where about it all. Boom, and then hit them with this section, what you're dedicated to, serving people with headshots, branding, and scheduling, going from there. So I think that would be stronger, and then the page kind of, resolves itself a little bit, because right now it's very heavy on the photo side. You can scale it down, because that's what these next 2 pages should be dedicated to anyway. But yeah, you can have all that encompassing all your details there anyway on the home page. So I think definitely doing that would be smart to do. But you can scale down the home page. You don't have to overwhelm them right out the gate. But I do like the colors. I love this section here. Again, that's why I want to pull it up higher to get in more people's faces right away. And scaling down how many photos we see from, at least 10 images on this page versus right now there's 24, then plus the 3 here. So just think about that, scaling it back on that side, and making sure that those details where you're located at are more up front, just to help your clientele understand that, oh, they're in this area that I'm searching for. So let's jump over to your About page. Okay, not bad. So far, I like what you're putting out there, but I don't know your name. Just looking at it, like who serves, who is doing this, who's the, portraiture? Is it many people doing photography? It says just meet your photographer. So I think that'd be important, letting people know who you are, your name, the who, what, when, and where, and why about you. Because people might search based on your name first versus the business name. So when they're looking for X photographer, headshot photographer, you might come up faster that way in Atlanta, in that area, if your name might be attached in somehow. And it could be like, again, this being one of the core pages. Your home page is a core page, this is a core page, and your contact page. And right now I don't see that except up in this top corner, so definitely want to recommend putting a contact up in this branding section as well. But definitely making sure that your name is located somewhere on the website, especially on the About page. It's just going to help at the end of the day when people are searching on behalf, looking for like, oh, my friend told me about X photographer, I don't remember the business name, So that's something to consider when you're putting that information out there, because they might remember your name, or got your name from someone but not remember the actual name of the company, and vice versa. So that's why it's nice to play both hands in that section. And other than that, on this homepage, I think it's well organized. It's got some good information here. Some things that you can do is, you have the single call to action here. You can put a call to action right in here as well. That way people can go ahead and have that incentive. They don't make it all the way down the page, because from studies, people barely make it past here. So just something to consider when people are searching and scrolling. People don't really scroll, people don't really read, but it's important for the website. So make sure that you have your call to actions ready to go whenever on the page, because it might not make it to this one here. Okay? All right, let's jump over to the next page, your headshot page. Okay, this part's good. This is something that I wanted to suggest on this side. There's a lot of breathing room desired in some of these sections. You have it right here, which looks great. But it would be good to have a little bit more here. It's just a little extra padding in between there. And this section here, even like the structural, like how far the text is apart, feels alien to the rest of the page. So if you're going to keep this, I definitely make sure there's some breathing room between the text so it doesn't feel so sandwiched in there and squeezed in. We want to give it its own breathing room so everything has its own strengths. Same thing right here. We got this right here tucked at the top of the menu. And then we're sandwiching all this text in here and then sandwiching it right before we get to the full-on gallery. How you have the gallery set up, I think, is really done well. I like this little happy client testimonial section. I think that looks really awesome. I think it looks really, really beautiful, and I like the call to action being here as well. So I think that looks really good. The FAQ section looks really strong as well. Yeah. Really nice. I like that you use the collapsible one. That way people can get straight to the questions that they're searching for. So that looks good. This section here, this has got information on what's included in each type of package. So then we have request a proposal, and then book an individual session. So, this is for teams. So maybe even organize some of the, this section a little bit differently, because this button feels very kind of just last second thrown in at the bottom. So maybe this is like book individuals here, or you can have like a color swash cut through the page saying, looking for an individual session, book that now. Something like that, versus it kind of being like, oh, we have these two awesome ones, and then this one's just kind of thrown in at the bottom. This one has a color effect. This one doesn't. This one does. And they all kind of fade out, and you can't see the text that's written there. Something to think about is making sure they're all consistent and they match everything. So we want to make sure that when we see that color overlaid, that it actually transitions to a color that we can still see the text. So I'd make that modification as well. Same thing, this one doesn't do any effects, so it's fine. And also just choosing your colors. We have blue, gold, black. If those are our main colors, we have another shade of blue, we have a lighter blue. Let's make sure there's consistency is across the board on that size, but definitely want to add some padding here. I think this is very well organized, very clean looking otherwise. But yeah, just to make sure that these sections are a little bit cleaned up. That way it's a little bit easier to read. Of course, right now I see the what's included and what's included, so I'm like, the executive, this feels more expensive than this one because there's more details. If that's the idea, maybe that's why. But this one being shorter makes me, kind of leads my eye away, because I see what's included here, what's included there. So you might want to even break up this information a little bit too. Just something to consider. Let's check out the next page for branding. Again, same thing, being consistent, looks fine, but I definitely would give it some breathing room. You see how you have breathing room here? Let's have some breathing room there. You have a rollover effect happening on this page. There isn't one on that one, so maybe something to consider as well. Add some more breathing room. It's just getting too sandwiched in there. Love the consistency of that being on this page as well. Your FAQ, you might want to change this color from this gray to that white. Looks good. Elevate your brand, book now. So straight to the point. Again, call to action is losing its visibility when you scroll over it. So something to consider. But I think this page is a lot stronger in terms of like what I'm getting and understanding it right away. Just a few things I would tweak, and it's mostly that breathing room. It really needs that. Otherwise, it just feels everything's too squished together and kind of gets lost when you're trying to figure out what's being said. But I do love these testimonial sections. I think they look gorgeous. There's this stray little line there you don't need. But definitely want some breathing room between all this stuff, because you can see everything feels left heavy, and all of a sudden there's a centered image or centered text. It feels very strange. Try to keep that consistency there when possible, because when it's sandwiched that close together, it feels alien a little bit, even if it is connected. So things to consider. Let's check out the book now page when we go there. Not too bad. Discovery call. So when we do that, this goes straight to a booking. They click the schedule. They choose when you want to. You might want to update these because the dates are getting lost. You see here, and this is something that I can fix for you, or our team can fix for you if you need it. But yeah, right now that information is getting a little lost for the customer, because now they're gonna have to figure out like which day, and they can only see it from over here. So it's something to figure out, fix on that side. It's just a color swatch change, so that should be fairly easy to do. Something I definitely would recommend, besides just having a book now option, I would definitely add a contact, because not everyone's ready to call to contact. They might just want to reach out and find out more information before they actually choose what they want to do. So it's just something to consider. Um, right now it's scheduling a call, but it could just be a courtesy one. Just giving them the ability to contact you through the form, and then setting up from there. You can lead them back to here. So whatever's easiest at the end of the day. But remember, not everybody's going to be ready to make that jump to a call right away. Just something to consider. But as long as you're not making them book, with money right away, I think you're okay. So you might be fine. Just something to consider, though, to make them have a little less pressure, because people get worried about, scheduling and possibly being a payment. But it looks like it's all good. But I definitely would fix those colors throughout for the call to actions and even this. Overall, I think your website's pretty strong overall, but we need to put some restraints in some areas. Make sure that we know where your location is in areas, and then who you are in other places, and then just reconfigure some segments. Just make it a little bit better organized, better user experience at the end of the day, and just cleaned up in general. A lot of error in certain places need to be added, so things don't feel so squished. Take advantage of all the real estate that you have on your website. Give it some breathing room so elements feel stronger at the end of the day. That would be my ideal message for you, is let's just clean it up. And if you need any help, you can reach out to our team. We also have coaching services, like 1 hour. And this whole website could be like totally restructured and cleaned up the way you want to, if you want to do something like that. Okay, overall, I think you're doing really well, but just some things to consider, especially for the button colors. I definitely would recommend getting those updated. All right, let's jump over to our next website. This is, the banner's in the way, so it's hard for me to read, but Ingioli Photography. Clemens, Owens and Salem, good to see that. Right here. Is this a pink hue or a gray hue? It's hard to tell. The pastel sometimes can bleed a little bit. It's kind of like when you have yellow and white together. Sometimes there's a reason why bees look great as yellow and black, because it's high contrast, but when it's like yellow and white, it gets a little harder to read. Definitely want to make sure there's something of contrast behind this besides this gray. Kind of gets difficult to just feels a little like either an accident happened, if that makes sense, because you have so many pastels. Okay, so let's take a look at what we got going on. You don't need this because you already have it here. That's the benefit. When you start putting things like this on your page, if your page isn't already SEO optimized, then what's the point, right? By doing that stuff, if you get caught doing it a couple times, Google starts to render it useless and think you're trying to trick it. Especially now, I've been teaching this for over 12 years now, not to do that, and at this point their system's very intelligent, so when it sees stuff like that, it just thinks it's a trick that you're trying to get found and discovered in areas versus doing what it wants, and that's writing organically, which this stuff looks way better. Just make sure that it has you who, what, when, and where, and why about you in there, and I think you're good. But when you start sticking in like who you serve, and especially when you see it right below it as well, it starts to think, hey, are you trying to trick me? Do you want to just be found? And then it starts docking you points, if that makes sense. You could get shadowed, banned in some cases if you do it too much, especially just think about that, when you start seeing the same things over and over in certain areas. So just be considerate of that. Some of this stuff looks really good. Some of the alt text is pretty okay. Just be considerate of oversaying North Carolina so many times. It's kind of the thing I used to tell people, like, hi, I'm a family photographer in Greensboro, North Carolina. I love Greensboro, North Carolina to take photography because families are there. Families are great to take photography up in Greensboro, North Carolina because that's the perfect place for families. So you start to have that repetition factor. It starts to be like, okay, I get it. They want to be seen for families in Greensboro for photography. but at some point it's too much for it, and it's like this isn't what I want to show people. You have your promotional banner over top of your logos. Luckily, you can see the rest of your menu, so you're probably okay. Just be considerate of that. You can always stick it to the bottom as well. When I click here, let's just check out your Calendly. Go straight to that for booking. So that's a third-party thing, so we're just going to leave that. Let's go over to your session options. We went from extreme pastels to now heavy navies. Oh, back to a pastel with navy. So something to consider. You might want to modify these colors so they fit your branding. You already use these pastels, so make sure that everything else is fitting that aesthetic. Otherwise, it could feel like I said, like broken or foreign to the page. Overall, let's take a look at the content on the page. The rollover effect, I would definitely want to try to make sure that this text here is more visible or something else is happening. Maybe there's a color underneath. Right now it goes to white. So maybe use one of your pastel colors there. I think that'd be fine. Good bit of information here, not too long. Your button's missing though. You can see it right here. You might want to update that there because right now it's hidden and sometimes that can be considered bad. When Google's looking, they're like, hey, why is your button white on top of a white background? Are they trying to trick people? Even though it might just be an accident because it doesn't even look like it's clickable. So it's something to consider. You got 1, a calendar, 2. So you got 2. Okay. And then if you have this one here, so I definitely would just probably remove that one. You'll probably be fine. Same thing here, contrast underneath or better title text colors. So yeah, mostly just colors on this page need to be modified and just your call to action. So be mindful of that. Let's jump over to a regular session. So I'm starting to see a consistent pattern. Those pastels hitting that harsh blue. Definitely just want to be considerate of that. Yeah, mostly just the colors seem to be the thing that I would consider in these elements. If you want to, I would use it like just a straight black color instead of the blue because it doesn't feel like, you know, it feels foreign to the rest of the colors for your brand. Like a charcoal might even work better. And most of these pages all have the same consistency, so you've definitely used like the same, you know, copy formula from each other. Just mind your buttons. Some of these buttons are broken in areas or don't work. When I go to book a session, it takes me straight to there, so that's good. But just be mindful of some of these other ones, like this one's not working, but it's outlined. So definitely think about, because this one, I think you almost dropped all the pastel aesthetic. It has more of a blue-gray tone. And see, like, that's a cool effect, but it should be like on all the other ones. And for this one, you should be mindful of how long the text is. Like, this is very long. I would definitely shorten this. You could just say outdoor graduations, casual portraits, garden portraits, something like that, or rustic summer experiences. Think big, bold events. Let's see, upcoming session, mini sessions. You have a mommy and me one. I would definitely like put like time frame, especially if they show up this page. You're like, oh, I can't wait to see. Oh, and the event's already passed, or it's too soon or too far out. They need to know so they can plan. So you could say, you know, the weekends in May or something like that. Something to consider. Otherwise, this is a pretty good page. A little bit too much space right here. Just pull this up a little bit. check out your work. Using a scripted font, kind of a handwritten font. We haven't seen that yet. You can just put alt text if you want to. This is just kind of caption text. But you can add alt text now easily with PhotoBiz AI. Or just copy and paste that in to the alt text section of each image. So you don't need that rollover effect if you don't need it. Because alt text is more about people who have seeing issues. Some cool ideas here. What would I do differently? Add a call to action. Tell them to book those sessions. You can drop them there. I think that would be good. Or at least put calendars at the bottom or something like that that can get them directly to it. Okay, good. You've just put a new blog out today and yesterday and earlier this week. Awesome, you're blogging. Looks good. Not bad. Got 2 call to actions over top. Which one's more important? You can stick one below here. Just something to consider. Let's check out the one from the day before. Good bit of information. I like this one. You're driving them where you want them to go. Looks good. I definitely would add more images in between this so it doesn't become just a wall of text, because that becomes, a little nauseating after a while. People don't read that much. They're looking for key things that stand out, like these big bold words help. The FAQ section really helps, but all the images are below. So I definitely would take some of the images and kind of put it in between here. It's show what a regular session looks like. Show what a mini session can look like. That way they get it in their head right away, oh, okay, I want something like that, Gets their brain thinking. Got that scripted font. See that white over this color? It's very difficult to see. Something to consider, make that darker, and same thing with this. I like those little buttons here. I think that looks good. Nice driving force. Let's talk. Let's see what this is. Now we're using some dark grays with blues on top of pastels. Definitely modify those so they feel more consistent. Yeah, I just think I would remove that blue. I think that blue just doesn't feel like you compared to everything else on the page. The gray's good. The pastel's good. Definitely stick with the charcoal colors, I think. Let's see the 2027 senior commitment page. Now this looks really nice. Now whatever you're doing on this page, this, I'll get rid of that. You don't need this little footer piece. But this idea, using cards and stuff like that, like pop-outs, that would be ideally what I would do with some of these sections on these pages, like a card here, boom. I think that would just dress this page up nice. It look really clean, and it kind of matches with the pastel aesthetic that you're going on versus that deep blue. So something to consider is use this kind of as a marker of oh, okay, maybe I should take some of this and put it over there. And even this isn't too bad, what does it include on our session, cap and gown, senior session, and then showcasing it below. I think that looks good. I just think get rid of that little divider right there, and you're good. You're solid. In terms of everything else, I think this is really nice. I like the circles. I think they really look clean, looks good. I definitely just watch this gray tone here. It's too washed out and matches the pastel gray to go with it. It needs to be more of that charcoal dark tone if you're gonna mess with it, like you have on this page. Boom, look how much it sticks out, right? Your fonts kind of shift from less scripted to more scripted later. They have from here, a nice clean look, and then kind of a cap like that. But then you go into these pages, you kind of have them this way. So kind of stick with a consistent factor on which fonts that you like to use and such, especially when you get into these sections. Okay, and then obviously color. Big thing is color. Make sure that's good. And in terms of like alt text flavor, with the rollovers, you don't have to have it this way if you don't want to, because for customers are reading this like, yeah, okay, but you can put this on the back end. There's a whole section with alt text. You can paste that in there, and it looks good, and then there's no rollover effect. Something to consider as well. If you need help, our team can assist and help with that. And then just making sure your buttons work. Make sure they're all consistent. Some of them were like hidden. Some are all white. Some of them didn't even were clickable. Definitely want to make sure that everything is working on that side. And this section here, I don't think it's necessary. I mean, we already got it here. So you're pretty good otherwise. But yeah, if you have any questions, please reach out to our team. Our team would be happy to assist you. Some other stuff to look at is, you can always go to our blog.photobiz.com. You can check out all our latest updates and features that we got coming out. If you missed last month, we're going to have a slew of new stuff coming out in a couple of days if you hadn't seen it already. But the editorial journal looks, editorial pin board looks for blogs and contemporary journal and feeds, those are available. We have some brand new layouts for our website. I think these look really nice and clean. Definitely take a look at those. Those might be some options that you might want to look through when it comes to like options for like FAQs. We've updated the checkout system so it looks a lot cleaner on that side. Some other things that we've been doing is adding new templates, and we've talked about how to set up your booking pages, especially if you are thinking about more consolidation. Might be something to consider. But the biggest thing takeaway from today is just making sure things look consistent. We want to make sure things look nice throughout all the pages and they feel on brand at all times. Like we're using these blues here. We don't want to change and go to like a heavy green or something like that all of a sudden. You want it to all feel like it's consistent and a part of the same page at the end of the day. And that goes for any website. If you need any help, obviously our team is here to assist you. You can live chat with us and talk it out for our team, or you can go into a coaching service. Coaching services are great because if you just want one-on-one help, you can get all that done right then and there in about 1 hour for $150, and it's on sale right now, so take advantage of that till the end of the month. You have to save on this service, so 50% off right now. But with this, design service, anything else, setup, anything like that, 1 hour, you can get a lot done during that time, and you're saving money at the end of the day versus going into a full-on service. You can work with someone one-on-one and then get your stuff done. It's one of our most popular services, and it's 50% off right now, so I would definitely take advantage of that. You can do that in your control board, or you can talk to our team and they can assist with that. As for upcoming events, today was website reviews. And April 10th, we'll be talking about blogging for SEO. Well, we have some great brand new features coming out that I think you're absolutely going to love. I cannot wait to showcase them. Next week, we'll be talking about them even more. But we have been making huge leaps and bounds when it comes to our blogging capabilities. And I think for people who say they can't blog or they're too busy to blog, well, guess what? You have no excuse now. The brand new feature coming out, if you can't do this, I'm going to be honest with you. You can blog in 6 seconds. This is how quick this brand new tool is going to help you. So definitely take advantage of that because it's going to help with optimization for your website, for search engines, and make sure that you have much more content out there versus just what pages that you show. Remember, your website is kind of like all the fishing poles that you have. If you have one pager, guess what? You only have one fishing pole. If you got 10 pages, great, you got 10 pages. But guess what? Blogs are better lures, right? Because they don't take up space on your website other than on your blog page. So you could have hundreds of blogs. That means you have hundreds of links out there, which means people might click on those links, come to your website, then get and book it for you. That's the way you need to think about it. And with blogging and our brand new tool coming up, you're going to want to take advantage of that because it's going to help you get discovered. After that, we got some website reviews throughout the rest of the months. So definitely want to take advantage of those as they come up. Again, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to our team. We also have on-demand videos that you can watch anytime when it comes to learning how. You can try our quick start series if you're just starting out with us, how to set up your website and get it online in minutes. You also see we have demos for all our tools that are available, from e-commerce, client gallery, scheduler, marketing, forms, and the website builder itself, quotes and invoices, blog builder, and contact. So definitely want to check those out when it comes to building. Again, if you need any help, you can always click contact and reach out to our team. You can live chat with us. You can also just send us a message here, or you can click the icon in the lower corner. Our team would be happy to assist you as soon as possible. That's pretty much it for today. I want to thank everyone for allowing us to take a look at their website today. Hopefully this feedback will help you when you want to elevate your website. And again, if you have any questions, you can reach out to our team. We'll be happy to assist you. Everyone else, hope everyone has a great and wonderful weekend. And if you need any help, reach out to our team. We're always here to assist. All right.